the Latina Leadership Podcast, the podcast made for Latinas by Latinas, with Angelica Cázares, Carolina Arenas, Diana Ruby, Jacqueline Villagomez, and Sonia Ramirez. Get comfortable, amiga, and enjoy the conversations.
Hi, this is Sonia Ramirez, and welcome to a new episode of Latina Leadership Series. Today on the show, we have the award-winning Mariachi Mariposas with founder Mayra Garcia. Thank you so much, Mayra, for agreeing to be on our show. I'm so excited to have you guys on.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We're very excited to be here.
Great, great. And we have Ashley Escamilla with you as well.
Escamilla, yes.
Escamilla. Great, great. And what is your role? Are you a member as well?
Yes, I've actually been there since the beginning. I'm
wow.
a trumpet player, yes.
Great. Well, speaking of the beginning, let's start, Mayra. Can you tell me a little bit about your background, your journey to becoming a mariachi singer, and what inspired you to start the group?
Sure. Well, we started the group in 2010. 2012, sorry.
2012.
Going back, 2012. And the purpose of it was to give opportunities to young females in mariachi to find a group to play with when they would graduate from high school. I've been a mariachi director for 12 years. I've been a teacher for 23 years. And I'm currently the director for the La Jolla ISD mariachi program, which is one of the biggest programs in Texas. They were like the pioneers in the Rio Grande Valley to start the mariachi program. And I am a mariachi director at one of their high schools. And so I would find that a lot of my groups were mostly female. And so they would graduate and they couldn't find a place to play. And so I just felt compelled to start a group that would give them the opportunity to keep on performing, because here in the Rio Grande Valley, there were a lot of male-dominated groups back then, and sometimes they just wouldn't, give females an opportunity because of the fact that maybe they were too young or they were inexperienced, and so this is how Mariposas got started.
Great. And as you started the group and along the way, can you describe some of the obstacles? I know you mentioned a lot of the other mariachis, I guess, wouldn't let the females play, so what have been some of the tough things you've come across to get your group going?
I think that it has been, mostly the fact that when we first started, we got together because we wanted something of our own too, because I have been playing with male groups since I was 15 years old. Wow. And so what I would find is that it's very different. Sometimes you wouldn't get the respect that you as a female, I felt that I deserved. And I think it's the same for her.
Yes, I felt that too. And we're playing with a lot of other males. A lot of times they underestimate the females. Mm-hmm. And so we don't get as many opportunities, but that was one of the main pluses about being a part of Mariposas and playing with other females is we all end up supporting each other and we hype each other up, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest obstacles that we had encountered, but once we started Mariposas, we were really blessed to have known, our angel, El Ángel Terrenal, what we call her. Her name was Blanca Gonzalez, and she used to be a part of our Mariachi Mariposas as a guitar player. And she was the one that really believed in my dream. And she said, you know what? I believe in you, and I believe in what you want to do. And so I am going to help you get started. And so she sponsored us from the very beginning. And that's how Mariposas was able to, pop up real quick in the map. And it just became something amazing. So at this point, I think we have been very blessed to have not encountered as many obstacles as we could have anticipated.
That's a beautiful story. It's like, wow, I'm so happy for you guys. And how many members do you have now? How many members did you start, and how many members do you have now?
I think we started with 12, and right now we've kept it at 13.
Okay, great. And what is the meaning? Why mariposas? What is the meaning behind your name? How did that come about?
Well, it's a funny story. So when we first started off, we really wanted a name that kind of connected with the beauty, the essence of a female. And so one of my boyfriends at the time, he was the one that told me, "Why don't you name it Mariposas?" And I was like, "Wow, that's really a great name. Like, I really like that." And so he says, "Yeah, because everybody is different, and there's so many different types of butterflies, and so I think it would be a great name." And I said, "You know what? It would be a great name." And so I went with it. At first, some of the girls were like, "Why mariposas? Why not, mariachi tierra mexicana or something like that?" And I said, "No, I really believe in mariposas." And so we actually founded the group in Mission, Texas. And in Mission, our what I always say the mascot is a butterfly. And you could see the whole city is filled with statues of butterflies. And
The
and
National
so
Butterfly
we have
Center
the
is here.
National Butterfly Center here. And so after we started our group, we were like, wow, this is crazy
Everything
how
just
like
fit.
everything just fit. But we weren't really naming it because of the city, but it just kind of came together. And so everybody kind of freaks out with that story, and they think like, is it because Mission and the butterflies? And I said, no, not really, but it just fit together. So
That's
it was
great.
something great.
Yeah. Ashley, can you tell me a little bit about what it's like to be in the group, like a day in the life of the mariposas, like getting ready for a performance? How does that feel?
Well, let me tell you. um, Myself, I am a mother, and I also work here with Myra in school. So we have our daily responsibilities. But every time we have a gig coming up or a performance, we get ready to transform. Go into our metamorphosis. At least an hour to an hour and a half to get ready. Mainly for the enjoyment of getting ready and getting into the mindset of being on stage and performing for people. I think for me, and I think a lot of the other girls agree also, it's one of the main things that we love is just performing for the people, being able to share our music and our love for the music and culture. Um, the makeup, always, we have to make sure we have the right palettes, the right foundations, all that good stuff, so that we can present the best of ourselves for the people. We don't like to do anything halfway. If we're gonna get dressed up, we're gonna go all the way out, bring out the glitter, bring out that hairspray and setting spray. We're gonna have everything there, glitz and glam for everybody. So it's so much fun. It's so much fun to be able to take a break from daily responsibilities and everyday life. And it's like you're going into this very glamorous lifestyle that we get to live as well. And it's just so much fun.
And I love that. I love what you said, metamorphosis. And your outfits are beautiful. Are those custom made or one of a kind? Or tell me a little bit about your outfits.
Well, I have designed all of our outfits.
Wow.
I have always had a love for fashion, and so when I first started working at a high school, like this was one of my joys is to like really create an outfit for our students. And so as soon as Mariposa would get started, when we first started Mariposa, I'm sorry, I was like, you know what, this is my chance to like use all these beautiful colors and be able to draw the type of embroidery we want. And so that's how we kind of got through all of our suits. I really never do anything without their approval. Like I want to make sure that if I like something, I draw it out and I let them know this is the color that I would like. Which do you guys like it? And so we all have to agree in this because obviously we're all going to wear it. And so one of our members, which is her name is Vanessa Garza, she is our guitar player. Her husband has a business where he makes mariachi suits. And that is, that is his job. And so we're very lucky to have him help us out in making our in creating this vision that we have for our mariachi suits.
That's great. That's a great story. And it's like it all fits together. Everything's
Yeah.
come together for you and fallen in place. And it's no wonder y'all are an award-winning group of all females. What empowerment, what kind of empowerment is that? That's wonderful. And I want to talk a little bit about the music you play. Do you write your own songs or do you do a lot of covers? Or can you tell me a little bit about that?
We whenever we're doing like competitions, which we haven't done since 2018, but when we do our competitions, we do ask for our music to get written out. For our CD, we got all custom arrangements by one of our good friends who is also part of Mariachi Vargas at the Calitlan in Mexico City at the time. We still use them to write music, and a lot of local students that have also have an amazing talent to write music for mariachi arrangements. We've used them as well. But we do a lot of covers because that's what the people love. We try to put our own essence into it, our own little arrangements, just so it could, be a little bit, flashier or maybe just a little bit, nicer, because some of these older arrangements, well, they have very minimal, what we call adornos. And so we try to put a little bit of mariposa flavor into our arrangements, but we do both. We do both.
You also wrote our one of the songs on our CD. You wrote the lyrics.
Yes,
on that with the melody.
Yes, and I do that too. Sometimes I really do like to compose my own lyrics and music, and so I do it for our students here at school too. And for Mariposas as well. It's a joy of mine to do that. I don't have a lot of time to do that, but when I do, it turns out very nice. Kind of like I always have struggle with self-doubt, and so she helps me a lot with that because she's like, no, it's great, it's fantastic. I'm like, okay,
gotta flow, just gotta let it go.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. What makes you have that self-doubt? Like, why do you have that feeling?
I think it started when I was in mariachi, playing with males. Unfortunately for me, I struggled a lot with that because I wasn't. I feel like I had to go through the put downs a lot, and so even when I would practice and practice and practice and try to get better at what we do, because this is what I loved since I was a child. I started playing mariachi when I was in 7th grade, and so it just became a passion of mine. And I felt that through the years as I was growing up, I was put down a lot, and so I kind of created that in my mind. The self-doubt of not knowing if something was good enough. And so I've just been very blessed to work with amazing ladies who have always supported me through, with anything any idea. Sometimes my ideas are really crazy and they look at me like, and then you're like, no, let's try it. And then it just turns out to be something beautiful and amazing. And so I'm getting better at it. I've actually gotten a lot better at it, but yes, I struggled with that a lot because of the put downs and the rejection.
But I think that's something that a lot of us share together as well. When the group got together, a lot of the girls too, they feel very timid when we would start playing together. And it was a lot of, every time we're rehearsing, the director comes in, Myra, and she's like, no, más ánimo, más fuerte, play like a boy, play better than the boys. It's kind of, and it is something that, a lot of us struggle with too. And because we have each other, we get to lift each other up. In my case, I didn't start playing mariachi until I was a freshman in high school, but I really got thrown into it when I was a sophomore because the university had an all-female mariachi and there were not many female trumpet players. So they actually recruited me from high school. I was playing with the university group because of the lack of female trumpet players. And being in that kind of environment, seeing everybody there, it's where my love really grew. But also, I did have that self-doubt as well when we would be playing along with the boys, or when we finally got to the college, level, and there's a lot more, to work with. Yeah, it's something I think a lot of us girls down here we struggle to get through, but it helps when you have a girl gang.
Uh, Speaking of girl gangs, I mean, it's inspiring. So I was going to ask, what do you do? What are some tips you do to help the girls relax and feel empowered? I noticed over the years that the universities are starting mariachi groups now. Like I know here at the University of Houston has their Mariachi Pumas, I believe that's what they're called. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? Because I think that just started recently.
Well, the mariachi scene has exploded. It really has. I think from the moment that UIL sanctioned mariachi and it's now made it a part like band, like orchestra and choir and all of that, I think that's when it got real, and this mariachis just started going everywhere. And what I know a couple of years back, I had spoken to a gentleman. I can't fully recall his name, and he would tell me, right now I guess he had done extensive research, and he's like, right now in the United States, there's about 500 mariachis that are popping up in school districts, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But this was years ago, and I think through with time, mariachi started getting respected in the United States, and so all of these universities started bringing up mariachi programs because of the amount of students that are coming out of the high school programs in Texas, and I
There's
guess
a
everywhere
lot.
else. Yes.
A
I'm not
huge-
completely aware of how many university mariachis there are in other states, but I know Texas is really, leading the way. It's paving the way for university mariachis and
mariachi
giving more,
education.
right, mariachi education. It's giving the opportunities that we didn't have, and it's really great for the students. It's really great.
That's great. And I was going to ask, do you recruit members or do you scout for members? Like, would you go to these performances to scout for new members?
Yes, I do that a lot. Um, I used to open auditions for Mariposas, and sometimes I still do. But usually, if I see someone, either in a university group or in a high school group that I really think has that passion and that essence to, to really connect with the group, like I'm really picky about that because I feel that attitude is very important. The work ethic, the love and the passion that you have for mariachi, you can tell, when someone is playing or singing. And so what I do is that, I kind of just follow them around a little bit, even on social media, I'm there kind of following them around. And then finally, I speak to some of the girls and I'm like, what do you think about, this child? And so they're like, you know what? Yes, amazing. And so this is how we have gotten a lot of our members in our group, and to our advantage, I think we have created something beautiful that they have been very excited to be part of Mariposas. They could have a choice to go anywhere they want, and they choose to stay here with us. And so I think it's something really amazing. And the respect that this group has and the respect that we have for each other, I think has overflowed, and it has really gotten out there, to that people kind of know that Mariachi Mariposas is a group where you're going to be respected and treated fairly and given an opportunity.
That's great. It's like you're the mariachi whisperer because
Yeah.
I love your performances. One of my favorites was during the pandemic, I think you guys did like a Mother's Day in your kitchen. It was somebody's kitchen, and
Oh,
it was so
Yeah,
great.
that
What
was
was it like during the
viral.
pandemic for
that
you
went
guys?
viral. That one actually, we recorded that before the pandemic. I think we were fairly new. We were like 2013 or 2014, and we just thought about recording. I said, you know what? Let's just record something for the mothers. Mother's Day's coming up. Let's record las mañanitas. And so little did we know that that video was going to, travel all over the world. It went viral. And, people were sending it to, their moms and tias and tias and cousins. And I mean, it just went. And I remember that first time that it actually just exploded. I was getting all these messages from people. They're like, "Oh my God, your video! It's in Guatemala. My friend sent it from Guatemala, and oh my God, your video! My friend sent it from Spain." And I'm like, "What? Like this is crazy." And up to this day, and it's been several years already. Up to this day, it's still going crazy on YouTube. It goes
Wow.
nuts. And Mother's Day comes around and there's a video. There it goes. Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was during the pandemic because that's when I saw it because I was, watching videos and I follow you guys. So I didn't know it was that long and it's still going strong. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Wow.
We did
And
another one, I think, during the pandemic, and it was a Mañanitas also, but it was from our homes. And that one, we did during the pandemic. So it didn't really it got some attention, but not a lot like the first one.
We
wow.
also did the Hollywood Bowl one.
Yeah,
During
during
the
the
pandemic.
pandemic, we did record another one that we did for the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, California,
Wow.
as a YouTube special. We did that one.
Wow.
Mhm.
Speaking of performances, you guys have performed in Texas beyond, like you just mentioned, the Hollywood Bowl, two-time award-winning mariachi champions for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. How does that feel, like to perform and to win those awards and to go traveling all over the world?
We love to travel. Um, we really do. We've been to California. We performed at the Santa Barbara Bowl. We have not performed for the Hollywood Bowl in person yet, but we did do the YouTube special that they had a couple years back, and so we've done a ton of shows here in Texas, and of course the Houston Rodeo, which was the most fun thing. And in actuality, we don't really go like for the Houston Rodeo, for example. We just went because we just wanted to go. We wanted to kind of just put our group out there, and we said, you know what, whatever happens, happens. And so the twice that we have gone, we did end up winning, and that was something really amazing. That to this day I cannot describe the feeling, of what it feels like to have 75,000 people or more cheering for you.
You feel that in your chest.
Yes, you feel it, and I am so proud and so happy that we were able to have that experience together.
That's great. I loved it. It was a great performance. I don't think since Selena have I been excited to be at the rodeo.
Yes.
And who are some of well, speaking of performers, who are some of the people that have inspired you? Some of the artists or other groups?
Is she?
Well, when I first started playing in mariachi, like I said, I started with a female group. So I would listen a lot to Reina de los Angeles by Jose Hernandez. They're from California also. And I listened to Mariachi Divas, a lot of the girls that had their albums out and we could actually access. I started off listening to a lot of that, a lot of Mariachi Sol de Mexico. And as far as female, well, Aida Cuevas, you can.
I think
she's a queen.
Yes, we both agree because we both like kind of the same things when it comes to having inspiration. Aida Cuevas has always been my inspiration since I was a kid, and so a lot of the female groups we listen to a lot. We do support a lot of the female groups out there because I think they're doing something important as we are. And so they have been truly an inspiration to us.
And do you guys ever collaborate with other groups or performers, or do you do like fundraisers for organizations?
We have helped out in the past. We haven't done it recently. As far as collaborations, we always talk about doing it, but we never do. We never kind of get together to do that, or plan it. But here in the valley, sometimes we all know each other, and we do have three female mariachis here in the valley right now.
That I know of, yes.
Yes, three.
And we have us.
Mariachi Margaritas and Mariachi
Azucenas.
Azucenas. And they're all our friends. And so we've talked about doing something together too, but we have not gotten there, to that point. But it would be an awesome idea to do something.
Nothing huge
Yeah.
has come about yet, but we all help each other out. So let's say we have a performance coming up and somebody's lacking a player here because of whatever happens, or, sometimes we have
help each other.
babies. And so we help each other out, whether we need for a performance here, performance there. So we collaborate privately for
Yes.
performances, but nothing huge yet. Hopefully in the future we will be.
And speaking of collaborations, I'm curious, have you guys heard about the new mariachi drama and docuseries that the global media company Fremantle is doing? It's called Mariachi Country.
We have not.
No.
Oh, it's
But
exciting.
that's a good idea, 'cause, yeah.
No, I was going to ask if you guys were involved or if you knew about it, because you should be a part of that show, because it's like highlighting the life of mariachis. I think it's going to be a series. It's in the works right now, but I think it's just going to delve into everything, like what's it like for the mariachis, a mariachi life. And I'm not sure, how many groups, they're highlighting, but I was just curious to know if you guys knew anything about that. It's still in production.
Yeah, no, we have not. We haven't heard anything about it.
Oh, okay, great. And
Yeah, it's interesting.
Really quick, before we let you ladies off, I think this was an amazing conversation, but I do have a few questions, and I did want to pick up on something that y'all briefly mentioned that I really would love to highlight for the listeners here on this podcast. Y'all talked about that girl gang, that there's something, that the connection between y'all that makes y'all and motivates y'all to keep going strong. I talk about the mentorship, the back and forth mentorship sometimes, right? Because the mentors that we end up finding are just male, right? And you're like, I don't know if I see myself in that space, that male voice. Like I need that female, I need that feminine to come in within. Can y'all ladies, whether you guys go back and forth, can y'all describe what that feels like? That connection of a female mentor, that female girl gang, and the aspiration that kind of brings with?
I think it's very different, because I feel that as far as our group is concerned, the support is there 100%. We all respect each other's talents and our capabilities, and I don't undermine any of my girls. I give them, full responsibility for what they want to do and their ideas, and I think that the connection has always been very strong between us because of the respect that we have for each other. And
I feel also the spectrum of age that we have also. We have girls that just graduated from high school, and we also have like everybody that's been through it for years. Like Myra, she's our head. So almost, everybody comes to Myra if they have an issue. Myra has an answer, we know. Yeah. But all of us, we've all been through our own experiences and been through life. So it's not just, the music, but it's also, it gets personal too. Like we're there to support each other. Whether it goes through like a heavy breakup, or, transitioning, having a child, or, going through anything in your career. A lot of us have been through things, and we can ask each other for help. And a lot of times you can't ask a male. Yeah. There's just some things you can't ask them. But we can ask each other. And it's already known as a sisterhood, a safe space that we have with each other. And it helps. It really helps get through our everyday lives. It's like a de-stress, a therapy. If we don't have practice for too long, we start to feel it. We do. If we haven't played together for a few weeks, we feel it. And when we come back, it's like
A breath of fresh
breath
air.
of fresh air. Okay,
Mm.
now I can go back. I can go back home. Like, all right, yeah, it's a different feeling. It is
Yeah.
with women versus being with men.
It sounds very therapeutic as you're
Mhm.
speaking because it's like when you don't see your therapist for quite a while, you can feel it, right?
Yes,
Um,
go a little crazy, and then it's like, oh,
yeah.
I got my girls. Okay, we're good. We had our girl time.
I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like I really wanted to create that safe space, and it looks like you guys have years on us be able to create that safe space. It sounds like it's something that, like, I'm thinking like I need to pick up an instrument because I want to join a all girl mariachi band. Like, that's truly what I want to do because I just want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that community. So, Maida, how did you know that this was a community and you wanted to keep developing it? You said like you're really picky about the girls you invite because they have to be in a space to want to be part of it.
Yeah. I have always been I'm not a mom. I'm not a mom. I've never have had babies, but being a teacher has given me that motherly vibe. And so I think once, when we started Mariposas, I had several of my students come in. Like they were the first ones that came in. Right now, I still have two of my students that I brought in upon graduation. They are still part of Mariposas right now, and I think that me being the oldest, I was always the oldest, and so I felt that I needed to help them, feel that they belong to something important, that somebody, that they were that I was there for them when they needed anything. And so I guess through the years it just became sort of like a thing for me. It's like I take care of them, and it's crazy because they really appreciate it, and they always tell me like, man, she does so much for us, and thank you so much for everything that you do for us. But I never really do it because I mean, I do it because I just feel it. And
Mhm.
so I think that I've created this little community of ladies who want to be there, who feel so empowered to be there. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I guess like I said, it's being like a motherly figure to them.
Mhm.
They just feel like they can trust
Yeah.
that
I
safe space.
as I'm being a member of it, a lot of it, that safe space feeling comes from being able to trust her. We know that she's a great leader, and if there's something wrong, or she's going to try to fix it, or she's going to try to ask us, be inclusive. A lot of us have been in other female groups before, and they those groups haven't lasted. And
Mhm.
one of the main reasons is because there's always arguments or predicaments, or girls that just don't understand each other, or they feel threatened by each other, or they feel like it's a competition.
Mhm.
And I think that is one of the main things that any girl that comes in, that try to make them feel as comfortable as possible and say, we're not here to compete with you. We see you, we recognize you, and we're here to support you, and come join us, and let's like work together, not against each other, or try to outshine each other. And the moment that somebody starts to get like that, we're like, okay, we understand. Let's talk about it. Or are you okay? Is there something we can help you out with? Because a lot of times when we're feeling on edge, something's going on, and that's where that
Mhm.
kind of that trust is. We know that we're there for each other in the end,
Yeah.
and we understand each other and our different personalities,
Yeah.
and we know everybody's zodiac sign. So that's so we kind of try to
That's true.
anticipate any issues that come up, but also,
As an
understand each other.
understanding,
Yeah,
yeah.
as
Yeah.
understanding. Yeah.
Nice. Well, ladies, I watched y'all. I think it was the mariachi festival. Um, I don't know. Y'all perform beautifully. Y'all are amazing artists, amazing performers. I really, really loved what you guys are doing. I'm a big fan. Like I said, y'all might see me show up with the guitar. No idea what I'm doing, but I might just show up. Sonia, thank you so much. Sonia, you want to go ahead and close us out?
Yes, yes. Really quick, I just wanted to see, can you share what are some future plans you got have coming up, or how can we keep up? How can everybody keep up with you guys?
Well, we do have all of our social media, which is we just don't have Snapchat. We don't have
Yeah.
Snapchat, but we have Twitter. We have Instagram, we have Facebook. Our Facebook is the most popular, social media that we have right now. That's
TikTok.
TikTok. Oh, TikTok too. We do post all of our events coming up on our social media, and we do have some things coming up. Like next week, we do have a concert at the McAllen Performing Arts Center with the STC, South Texas College Folklorico Group. We've been collaborating with them already for several years, and it's a beautiful show. And then we have some other things that we have pending, but have not confirmed yet. But Houston is coming up also for Latina Night. That I'm thinking. Don't get me wrong. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure if that's going to be the name. But it is coming up in August, and we're going to be there in Houston, and we're very excited about that because we have a huge following from the Houston area because of the Houston Rodeo. And they always ask us, when are you coming to Houston? When are you coming? And so it's finally happening, where we're actually going to have an hour and a half show for the public at the Wortham Theater. So that's something that we're working towards, for right now, because we really want it to be an experience, an unforgettable experience for everyone in the Houston area, because I don't think Houston has an all-female mariachi. No,
we don't.
So it's it's going to be a real treat.
Yes.
Well, if ever one of you guys want to move to Houston and start an all mariachi, like I said, I don't think it's the bongos I can play for the mariachi, but I'll learn something, the triangle, something.
I know. I wish I could sing.
Honorary member.
I know. I wish I could sing. I wish I could belt those tunes out the way you guys do. I admire you so much. The one last question, because we always ask everybody: do you consider yourself or your group a leader?
Yes, we do. I think that this group has gotten to that level because of the things that we have done. And like I said, it all comes back to respect. I think the members that come in and leave always leave with a good experience. The majority that we have had, because we have gone through several generations of mariposas, have been very they've left with great experience, and they have really put the word out there to other female mariachis, about mariposas being a group where they feel safe and where they can learn and improve and progress. And so I'm very lucky to be in this position right now with them, because it's something so beautiful. I really never even thought it was going to get to this point. I didn't even think it was going to last 10 years like it has right now. And I just feel extremely lucky, and more so, it's tough being a leader. But I have learned my way through being a leader. I have made mistakes, but I have learned from them. And I think I'm at a point where I feel that this group has gotten to that level where it has gotten a major respect.
That's beautiful. And that's great advice for anybody out there that's thinking about doing something, not even in just the mariachi realm, but in anything in their life. Just believe in yourself and look what you can create and keep going 10 years down the road. Mayra, Ashley, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to interview you guys. And I wish you so many more blessings and wonderful things to happen for you guys in the future. And I'm going to catch you in Houston, hopefully, for that show at the Wortham. I look forward to meeting you.
Yes, of course. Yes, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate you giving us this opportunity.
What did you think of the conversation? If you enjoyed what you heard, let us know in the comments. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you for listening to the Latina Leadership Podcast, and we will see you next time.